Greetings, I am Liz and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we are back and this game is still goddamn pretty. Yes, really pretty.
It's quite marvelous. I really still love the hatching, though, that they used to show off where the shadows were. Like, I know they also put a color in with the shadow, so, like, it will make it doubly obvious, but still, it's still really charming.
The classic cross-hatching is just so good.
It's
the hatching
pretty.
and cross-hatching and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really nice. But again, like, some pieces of this game, especially, like, this costume design and, like, the block hatching, like, block colors with the hatching in it and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I freaking recognize that as like an art style kind of thing that I've seen in picture books that I've read before. And
hell yeah.
I need to find the other artist who does that this is calling back to, because I love their freaking stuff. And this looks like that and I enjoy it. That's you.
No, the first one is you.
There was a letter. It was signed by an I. Was it from you?
What was it about?
It sounded like you were rather forcibly inviting me to lunch.
Probably to save you from starvation.
I roll my eyes. Really? Was I that inept?
Not inept. Dangerously absorbed. It wasn't a big deal. Why are you asking?
No reason. Well, maybe. I don't know. I was just happy to have found something about my past. Not like you're gushing with information in that regards.
Why wasn't I? Oh, let's see. Oh, depression? Imminent annihilation?
Okay, honestly, it fits into sentences so well. I love it. I love it.
Like, real disassociation? Devastation?
That might poverty. We'll name it poverty.
We'll name it poverty. We'll name it poverty? Capitalism?
We'll name it disassociation.
Yes.
That's a good one. Yes. All right. I just want to feel a little more me. You know what? Never mind. You know what? I appreciate this idea, but I don't.
It's not helping.
Feel like it's not helping, and I don't feel like the character's really like. I want to feel more like me.
So I have one tiny thing that has been building up as this has gone on, and I've seen this game a couple of times now, at least at the beginning.
The very beginning.
As much as I love this game, the fact that it also doesn't push a huge time frame into things. I feel like one particular weakness of this writing style that they've elected to go with really slows down the pacing and also really makes the whole thing far more fluid and way more just kind of like we're relaxed, we're having a good time, then coupled with the music, and then when the character gets angry it feels like I've mentioned that before, it feels really weirdly detached, and also it's very jarring.
I was gonna say, okay, so I wasn't sure what you were going for at first,
yeah.
But like the game itself feels, despite the imminent doom of all, both, or one, there is this level of comfortableness to it, of ease and gentleness to it, of it being a very open kind of place that you want to come in and explore, and there's no, there is a sense of tension and importance, but no sense of panicking urgency and stuff. And the way Ilar conducts themselves, and the way the soft movement of the objects, and again the actual drawings and things, everything else contextualizes a more a softer experience.
Right.
And then you get this sort of I am pissed off.
And that's even the way the characters are written, the way that they're described, a lot of it goes hand in hand with adding more and more to that basically smooth, relaxed sort of atmosphere. And then the character's I'm pissed, and you're like,
and I've had a really hard time connecting with the idea that Vin is or would be pissed off.
Yeah, so
I haven't chosen those choices because they don't make sense to me. I can't relate to them. And so it'd be very hard for me to play that character.
Yeah, and the thing is that's, I don't know, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but if that's really what you, the writers were intending to convey, was this building rage, was this, just shorter and more aggressive and anger and whatever else, I would just be careful.
Yeah, I thank you.
Is that it doesn't work well. To me, the tone dissonance is too strong, and the efforts to go, I'm furious, is just what? Mm-hmm. It's sort of people go, I am the angry. Okay, baby. It's you're trying.
And so and it doesn't mean it wouldn't be relatable to other people, but for ourselves, it's just not. I do love the way this hand is drawn, so much.
It looks good.
It's very good.
It's a good hand.
I thought I would take a second to point that out. Amongst all the art that I've been gushing over, good hand.
You clicked out of it.
Oh, I did. That's what
That's
I
what I'm
had
saying.
to choose.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Never mind.
But you can choose using that. But the thing is you clicked out. That's why I was like, you have to be careful. You're gonna bring up part of the computer.
I was just curious. You know what? Never mind. I probably should go back to check the journal. Ilar gives me a tight-lipped smile. I sigh. I'm sorry.
What for?
Getting carried away, I suppose. Curiosity got the best of me. Probably part of who I was, right? I will try to keep it in check. Ilar relaxes, visibly.
There will be time to be curious later. Don't you worry.
It is really clear that Ilar's trying to get you through some kind of ordeal.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not they're giving you, like, all the information you may desire or whatever, they really are like, let's solve this first, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have your word on that? Assuming we make it out of here. I start to turn toward the desk, keeping my eyes on Ilar still. They nod.
There will be time.
They murmur. It's a promise, then. This feels like that anime exchange moment where you're about to do something really fucking dangerous and the other person's like, promise me you'll pay back the $5 you owe me. And they're like, it's a promise, as they go to their death in the vortex.
Right?
And then you know they can't die, really, because they're going to pay you back.
Uh-huh. Don't push it.
I grin back as I walk away.
Yes. They grin.
They grin.
They grin. You grin. Everybody grinning. Having a good time.
That was a long fade.
It was a beautiful fade. Lovely fade.
Once again, I find myself before the journal, apprehensive, scratching my chin. It's all so bewildering. What should I do? What did Ilar say? Round gate, black powder, mantra? All right, journal, give me a spell with those things. Please. I lift the cover, and it almost turns over by itself. Pages rustle softly as my fingers brush against them. It's strangely soothing. Page, ASMR, and hands dim.
Right.
What if I don't find it? What if I don't understand it when I do find it? Shut up. But what if 1, 2, 3, 4, what if 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, everyone. This is clearly deep.
This is a breathing.
All right, everybody. Deep breath. Just breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. 57, 58. The rustling stops. I look down. A 2-page spread comes into focus. A stain lurks in the groove between the pages. The left side of the spread lists a few components of a ritual. 1, black salt sigil with the diameter of 5/3 measures. The length... Oh.
The length of your body.
A voice whispers. Freshly spilled waters to fuel the reaction. Be sure to pee on it. I mean...
Time to go to the potty.
I was gonna say, I know that's not what they mean, and they've established really well what waters are, but I'm just like,
Your blood.
It whispers again. An illegible word follows. I squint. Also this experience of going, Ilar's like, yeah, you know, these bodies are made out of waters. Blood bodies wandering around the room.
Oh.
Oh.
Had
Drop. A dash. A pint? Surely not, that would be suicidal. I make a mental note to ask Ilar and move on to the last item.
So I actually really like this observation of going, a pint? Surely not. Because the thing is okay, so we actually have a very small amount of blood in our bodies.
Uh-huh.
And like, that is why, like, when you watch a movie, you guys, and they're like, buckets of blood! And you just, sometimes, if you know anything about, like, how easy it is to make somebody, like, get dizzy, then pass out, then lose like, it is super fast. Like,
you don't need to lose a whole lot of blood for your body to be sad. Even when they very safely go and, draw blood for donation, they're like, sit there for a little while, drink water and eat some food, and then leave after we're, 15 or 20 minutes when we're sure you're just fine.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it is really, really important to be really careful. So So when somebody gets ridiculous about it, most of the time people know that they're being ridiculous about the amount of blood that's just everywhere on the screen.
Buckets and gallons and things. You're like, there's not that much in the body.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. It's meant for dramatic effect. It's okay.
A mantra for unifying the forces to be chanted 32 times. Not, 42. What an odd number. Actually, it's an even number. Good individual. A drawing darkens the right side spread. I turn to examine it, but my eyes can find no focus. The lines fray into overlapping spider silk. And this is your, basically, like incomprehensible horror demon of a drawing. And going, your magic brain with its memories knew how to handle this thing.
Yeah.
But without them, you didn't do the proper thing, and it's just a picture of madness.
This is your eldritch, basically, slowly creeping in this incomprehensible void experience that you are slowly going mad from, I'm sure.
Eldritch Doodle.
Hot Sir Eldritch Doodle. To you.
The lines fray into overlapping spider silk. Strange. I lean in closer for a better look. When I can't understand the incomprehensible thing that starts to eat at the very sanity of my mind, I decide, let me try and squint harder.
Excuse me? I'm gonna roll on my dice. I'm gonna try that.
My bowels turn cold. My
What?
eyes are enticed.
Okay,
Cold bowels?
Cold bowels. I have to admit, in the stream, we all kind of laughed really hard at that. And, okay, so the thing is that I understand in horror books in particular, there is a really strong convention with connecting you basically with the bowels or the intestines or the colon and things associated with that particular area, because it's considered to be more gross and basically more primal in a weird way. Like, it's just the more nasty.
And I was gonna say, and I've heard, like, my bowels turn to liquid or something like that. Or my bowels clench, but I've never heard them turn cold before.
And, like, bowels in particular, like, again, it's more of a horror writing leaning to go for your bowels over, like, my innards turn cold, or my heart turns cold, or my breathing feels like
my belly.
My belly turns cold. My stomach turns cold. That kind of thing.
It's
like, really, it's a weird convention, and I would definitely suggest if you've never really read a lot of horror, just go briefly through there. I know you don't have to read the whole thing, but it's really interesting to actually read
some of the descriptions.
Some of the description choices versus what basically other authors choose. It
what
is
a
actually a
non-horror
deliberate choice.
author would choose. So actually, and if you don't want to, there's actually a really good breakdown of like horror versus non-horror, or writing horror for adults, which is the language my friend is talking about, versus like writing for kids. And Clive Barker, there's a wonderful interview with him about his book, The Thief of Always, which is, I don't know if it's meant to be like genuinely horror, but it's definitely a spooky book. And it's for kids. And it's really quite well done, but he breaks down really thoughtfully the language usage in reference to, this is how you horror for adults, and you don't do that the same way for kids.
Yeah.
And I would totally recommend it. Alright, but my eyes are enticed. Closer and closer. Childlike figures. Some missing heads, others missing limbs. Each incomplete, maimed, interlocking in anatomically impossible ways, forming a ring. So it's not, the human centipede, it's the human Ouroboros.
Whatever is available, Pete. Yeah.
But that's a ring,
Right.
One has an arm growing from a neck, another's legs branch apart, spider-like. What are you? I whisper, almost touching the page now. Fascinated, I lean in closer. The black mass at the center looms. It undulates.
Lines.
Its lines undulate, like ripples on the sea on a moonless night. There's some movement under the surface. What are you? I shiver in excitement, eyes itching, unable to blink. A round protrusion at the very center of the inky blackness wiggles. There's a crescent slit running from left to right. It opens. Teeth? I put an ear to it. A faint warmth streams out from it with a hiss. There's a rhythm, a cadence to it. Are they words? Yeah, when I see an incomprehensible horror drawing in a book and then it opens an actual working mouth, I totally want to lay parts of my body next to it.
I know! You know what, mood?
I'm just like, whoa.
Whoa.
My heart pounds. I struggle to make out syllables.
Not
savvy. Sorry.
Sorry for what? I don't understand.
I could never say it before have whispered it in sight. It hardly matters now. Whether I say the words or not eats you, you linger. You are the silence.
A lump forms in my throat. The walls close in. A weight presses on my chest, numb. I can't breathe.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you to hear me.
Why? Why are you saying these things? I try to pull away. My body is heavy. Joints creak.
Dismember how we lie. Destiny, fate, glory, immortality. All lies. No, now. No, excuse me. No, now, please, free me, please.
Heavier and heavier, squeezing the breath from me. I need to get away. There's a dull, distant pain. Ilar's pain.
I am not heartless, you know.
No more. I will hear no more. The pain. I turn my head to it. My heart to it. A spark of heat in the cold. My hand comes into focus.
Who gave you the right ability?
I drive the wrist into the wood. The spark inflames. The heat spreads. The sense of a body returns. Fighting with every drip of strength, I slam the book shut with a resounding thud. The whispering abruptly abates. I double over, gasping for air. Pat, 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 as the sweat deserts my chin. Also, that's sort of wild that you, in basically a magic, sort of effigy-like body, can sweat and have it drip. What in the great abyss? I drop onto the floor unceremoniously, head resting against the drawers. That voice. There's something about it, but I'm not sure. Was that part of a spell? A message left by someone? I touch the chilling numbness lingering on my chest, waiting for my heart to steady. This place is getting to me again. Every step I take forward, something jumps out and bites me. I squeeze my wrist, shaking my head. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. I should go to Ilar. They might know about what I just found. I look at my hands, a little see-through, and not a moment too soon. I make my way back, keeping a wary eye on the passing debris, letting out a sigh of relief as an expectant Ilar finally comes into view. Again, huge, massive freaking room.
Right. How was it?
They come toward me. Horrible, as usual, I swallow. But I think I found what you're looking for. A ritual that involves a circular sigil, made of black salt, I think it said. Has to be large, 3/5 measures or something. Ilar's eyes light up. A ghost of a smirk rises, then falls from their lips. Their voice low.
Go on.
It also asks for blood and a mantra. I only saw a little. Sigil. The mouth whispering. Cold. I shiver. Ilar steps forward, excitement evident in their voice.
What about the sigil? Can you reproduce it? Did you procure the black salt?
Yeah, nothing, no. The sigil, it said things to me. What was it? I try to recall, but each attempt to think brings waves of pressure and cold in my head. I grasp Ilar's elbow, eyelids squeezed tight, swaying, choking. They grab me by the arms, demanding.
Well, what's the mantra? How many words? What language? Did you memorize it?
I don't like it. It feels wrong.
What about the blood? What kind? How much?
It feels wrong. I hear my voice reverberate. Hands balling into fists, I meet Ilar's stunned gaze and back out of their grip. The ritual. What if you are wrong about it? Echoes of melancholy and venom resound in my ears. My hand moves to stroke the cold numbness in my chest. The things it said to me, I don't understand it exactly, but it could not be right. It just couldn't. Ilar's jaws multiples.
Hi, multiple jaws. Ooh.
Clenched tight, vibrating with tension.
Explain from the beginning.
Yeah, don't be vague and metaphorical. Alright. The list of ingredients seemed to fit, but the sigil, it spoke to me and said,
If the ingredients are right, then that's the ritual. Who cares?
Do you know how it is for me to be out there? You're not listening to me, let them finish. You know what, we keep trying to get information from them. If we want them to talk to us, we need to let them talk to us.
I mean, but you did also just have a really shitty experience, and part of it is like that they've been really interrupty this whole time.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, based on what we just went through, you're going, so this thing said thing. Who cares? Talk about the thing.
I was saying, as far as I can tell, they only cut us off once. But, yeah, they are going, this is not the important part of things.
Uh-huh. So, I mean, I guess that's up to you, like how you're perceiving it. If you're not really feeling like Ilar is interrupting a lot, then let them finish is totally valid.
See, and I don't feel like it's a lot. I also kind of feel like Vin's being like, this thing, and I don't have a lot of words, and I would say more, but I don't, you know?
Right.
And also, again, if I want you to let me speak, I'm gonna try letting you finish.
Alright.
Let them finish.
Who cares what that cursed book says? It's enchanted. For all we know, it just wants to chat. And while you dawdle, I'm here staring in the face of the abyss. Have you any idea the dread that entails?
No. None. The anguish on Ilar's face dampens the fight in me.
Like, actually, this whole thing's really scary at any moment. I can feel it pulling at me, nibbling me away, and there's nothing I can do except put my hope in you and endure it.
How? Accusation, anger, and sorrow are written so clearly on Ilar's face. I'm ashamed I never saw it before. Yeah, well, you have been really defensive in your experience. On the other hand, you've also found their approach to you very inaccessible.
Yeah.
So trying to connect to them when you feel really lost and don't feel any connection to them, and their basic functioning of things has put you off and felt a bit abrasive, it's reasonable that you wouldn't be very empathetic to them.
There's also the fact here as well to consider that Ilar has been trying to be unreachable, unknowable. They have been trying to be at a distance from you.
And to be also single-minded.
Yeah.
Shallow. I focus only on this one thing.
Uh-huh, and that is a thing that we have mentioned that is actually, like, yeah, we're going, oh, we can imagine this character is having a hell of a time. But also your other character's like, I have no reason, what? Yeah, but that's also where sometimes I'm talking about, like, tonal-wise, I'm not really accessing as much of, like, Vin's side of it as I am Ilar's, which is really funny, because I'm like, I feel sort of confused by our main character, because our main character seems to be far more adrift, basically, or disconnected from literally everything, but I think that might go with basically the sort of, well, they tried to unalive themselves.
Or potentially did.
Like possibly tried to do that, and so therefore you as, you know, like a whole person have more of a connection to this other character than you do to the character you're playing, because of course you do.
Because you're not there, yes.
Yeah.
I never did consider what Ilar was going through. It's always about me. So selfish. Childish. I'm sorry.
What?
I reach out a hand toward Ilar. I'm sorry. I never asked about how you were doing. Their face twitches in bewilderment. They look away.
It doesn't matter now.
It does to me. I take a chance and touch a fingertip to their arm.
Through the cloth. Poof.
To the arm of their shirt.
Yes.
A muscle works in their neck. I don't
I
think
can't
you would be
actually
able to see that.
Alright, so unfortunately, yes, I can't see their neck.
It's sort of like you know, Ilar's hand and I feel their skin kind of thing, and going, but there's a glove. In this case, unless that's very soft fitted, like legging fabric or something,
right,
you're not gonna really see muscles moving through it.
Yeah, or it's like super skin tight. I don't even know.
I have been difficult, haven't I? It could not have been easy for you to be so close to that thing, and I hesitate remembering, and to have to put up with me.
Actually.
I wrap my hand around their arm. Ilar tenses, muscle trembling. Look at me. My voice is gentle, firm. Their expression is stolid, unreadable. A mix of something hard, something tender, and something else.
You had a complicated relationship. Like, you had a complicated relationship.
I will try to make your life easier from now on. I squeeze their arm. Ilar closes their eyes. I'm almost holding my breath. Which means you're not holding a breath you didn't know you were holding.
Yes.
And you're not letting out a breath you didn't know you were holding. Please, I plead silently. Finally, Ilar nods. Tension in them melting away. I heave a sigh of relief. Ilar's eyes still avoid me. They sway ever so gently, looking so weary. I give them a tug and walk them to the couch where I drop into it, and they sit down next to me. Feeling better? Ilar shrugs, but I see a glint dancing in his eyes.
There.
Their eyes. My bad, I'm just running things together right now because I'm just like, and a fleeting smile on the corner of their lips. That's it.
I think that's you.
That's me. Oh, don't play coy now. How many times do you want me to say sorry?
Wouldn't have minded one more.
And with that, their familiar lopsided grin returns. Kind of love that. We're like, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. And they're like, I'm actually just getting catharsis from beforehand off of you now, of whatever happened before this and whatever situation we were in with each other before this.
I gotta tell you, as much as Ilar going, it doesn't matter. I'm like, this is all you have ever wanted to hear. For as much as you're saying it doesn't matter,
it seems like it
matters so much to you, Ilar. Like, holy crap.
Huh? And how long have you been milking me?
Who do you take me for? A common scoundrel?
Only because you fit the part so well at times.
You wound me!
Their arms go up in mock indignation. I nudge them playfully in the ribs. This is cute. We haven't seen this part at all.
Nope, not even. That's it. So now we're talking more because we're discussing more because we've finally gotten shit we haven't seen.
Completely. They faint. I think it should
they
be
feign injury.
I think it should be feign injury. Covering their wound with both hands. Also, that's us touching Ilar without reaching out for help. That's very casual and cute, but that also suggests progress of going, you're not freaking out as much. I make to get them again, but the mirth seems to evaporate from Ilar's face as they drop their hands awkwardly to their lap. We can't literally do this, by the way. Depression still looms.
Aye, it does.
My hands hang in the air. I brush something from my hair. The little awkward gestures we keep going, I was gonna interact and now I had the... and I just start caramel dancing instead.
Slow Numa dance.
A few books meander past us, paper rustling. I'd almost forgotten about that buzzing. It fills the silence, bringing back an uneasiness. I was wondering, say nothing. You really should rest. I feel, you know what? I feel like we've just gotten really awkward and we're going to be in a say nothing because we don't know what to say. Again, like, it's really just, you don't know what to say at this point.
Right.
And that feels very true to the character, especially with the sort of, like, very clear stage business of this is me being awkward.
And also the thing of saying nothing here would give Ilar a chance to take back control since you've now...
Or to engage more equally.
Yeah.
Since
you're like, here's the ball, it's in your court.
Exactly.
Here you are.
I lean into the cushions, letting my eyes close.
Well?
I hear them say, well, what?
Don't tell me you don't have a dozen questions.
I do, but they can wait. It's nice just to enjoy a moment of rest. I give Ilar a look.
That's unusual.
Workaholic. You're a workaholic.
That's again where I'm like, again, as much as Ilar's like, this is somebody else, they're really having a hard time processing, which is totally fair. You're like, I'm going to focus on this. God, this is super weird. I'm going to focus on this. God, this is super weird. It's very natural in that way, and I kind of appreciate that.
It really is, that Ilar's going, I have this intellectual concept, but I do not have it as an emotional concept.
Yeah, not at all.
That's...
that's unusual.
Smile. Right.
Yeah.
What? Do you want me to ask you something?
Oh, no. I'm fine.
They look down.
I'm just not used to it.
So I have been difficult then?
No, it's...
Ilar's nose wrinkles up and they stand up, begin to pace away.
It's not you, it's
me. It's not you. It's me.
Except the thing is that it usually is also partly you.
It's both. It's
both.
always both.
It is if you were in a relationship where, even if you weren't necessarily like partners, but you were partners and you worked together, it's usually some combination of the two.
I hold my breath. My heart pumps. They shake their head finally.
I should go.
What? Oh, wait, it's not me, it's what? With a sad smile, they say,
Next time, perhaps. You'll manage with the journal, yes?
Yes, I think so. But can you not just tell me? Ilar nods and vanishes. My words trail off, but my heart is still pounding. Something boils inside, wanting release, finding none. But we're gonna have to see if we can figure out a release for that boiling in the next one.
Hey, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and please share our videos if you are having a good time with us. It is greatly appreciated every time that you do, and it is also even more fabulous when we can find more people who are interested in what we do, but also no pressure. And it's also fun just to share more stuff with you guys. So please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon, actually, where we have goals to play other games. And also feel free to make suggestions for games that you would like us to play, because we love that sort of thing. We love the engagement. We love actually learning what you guys are enjoying and what you think we would also be good at playing. And other than that, though, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Liz.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!